are in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another week of Lights, Camera, Yaption, the podcast where we talk about movies, media, entertainment, and whatever else I want to yap about. I'm your host, as always, Samp, and we're here to yap about a lot of different things today, but the main theme, I feel like, of what I want to talk about is theater. The theater is back, baby, or it's just back in the pop culture sphere. The Edinburgh Fringe is starting soon, and there's been lots of other theatrical adjacent news. And in case you couldn't tell, guys, I do have a little bit of experience in theatrics, in musical theatre. Been doing shows since I was a wee sprout. And so this was inevitable. Listen, guys, last week we were on an absolute roll. Everyone who manifested alongside me, we did it. Because not only did Near Enough win her episode, but Art Simone also won her episode. My Drag Race girls won their episode. So well done, everyone who took part in that manifestation cycle, I guess. If we could do that again, that would be great. I feel like for Near Enough, we're on to the final 5. So a Near Enough victory would be really, really good. So big focus all your manifestation on Near Enough. Art Simone, it's still early doors. We can let someone else take a win if we want. But I mean, listen, if we want to give Art another win, that'd be great too. Maybe spread it out and we can give it instead to, who would I like to see do well? Oh, Vibe. I love Vibe from Down Under as well. Jump straight into Drag Race, guys. Me saying it's not a Drag Race recap podcast, and yet we always start with my Drag Race recap. But yes, it was good weeks for our Drag Race girls if you were on my team here. And so that's very exciting. But unfortunately for Art Simone, the challenge last week was they had to perform a song, and it's a girl group challenge, and they usually write a verse, do a little dance, and then the song is usually something like, it's a big meme. If you're not a Drag Race fan, it's a big meme online of like all the girls just say, I want to snatch the crown, Mama Roo, take it home, blah, blah, blah. And that is very much what we usually get. But for Down Under versus the World, the song this week was I Want to Be Like Kylie, and it was a Kylie Minogue themed girl group challenge. Again, lots of manifestation power because we literally talked about they lip sync to Kylie. They did lip sync to Kylie twice. And it was probably the most sonically vile song I've ever heard. There was someone like shrieking the top line, and I respect the girls for managing to write some kind of verse, but it was literally, it was like, can't get you out of my head. Get out of my way. Wow, those are songs Kylie slayed. It was just like, yeah, facts about Kylie. Kylie Minogue was from Melbourne. Then she was on Neighbours. And I like that. That's good. It was a bit rough, but it was also bad. Let me see if I can get it up. I promise I was never going to try not to become someone who just is always like, oh my gosh, we need to go on my TikToks and see what you can listen to. But let me know if you can hear what I'm talking about when I say sonically vile, because listen to this. Literally, oh, we love you, Kylie! We love you, Kylie! Screaming. Who is this woman screaming at me? So it was a bit of a weird one. Hard to do your brand talking about how much you love Kylie Minogue. Especially odd if you were like an international queen. If you're someone who, like America, I know she's not really broken into America. So it's like, okay. For me, it feels like if we were telling everyone, we did UK versus the world, and we told everyone, okay, you've got to write a song about Holly Jarvis. But make it about you, Holly Jarvis there. She had a big mouth and was made fun of. She has worked the towns and everything. No, that's Rachel from X Factor. They'll do some X Factor reject rusical at some point. This is the Hun culture. We will have Holly Jarvis. We will have Rachel. Don the Apprentice Jockey will get a patter song. So pitch that to me, guys. The X Factor rusical. X Factor rejects the rusical. Rejects. How about that? Rejected. That can be it. And it's kind of like 6. Oh my gosh. theater. It's all coming together here. Um, no, we're on the light sections. So we're talking about my shows. It was a rough challenge, but happy with the results. People are really being mean on this episode as well of Down Under versus the World because they're saying because basically, guys, one of the contestants was this drag queen called Raven, and Raven does RuPaul's makeup now and was on season 2 of the US season 16 years ago. And so her competing was kind of like if a judge was competing. She has actually guest judged as well. So it was quite fun. It was quite electric because everyone was going, "Oh my god, this is so exciting. Raven is back." But on episode 2, they revealed that Raven was not actually competing and that she was a mole. And it was like, what does that mean? What do you mean she was a mole? For one episode, they just had her pretend to compete and they said, "And now we've got the inside scoop." But it's as in the words of Lucina Innocence, it's being recorded. You have the inside scoop. They're on a set. There's cameras and microphones everywhere. So, what was she moling about in? Like behind the scenes to see if they're twats? Like, I guess that's quite good to know. To be honest, might have helped out on a couple of other um, crownings, shall we say? But it's a weird. It was a weird thing to do that didn't really have any payoff, and I expected something campier from Drag Race, and I think it could have been a power of some sort. They could have done some kind of twist where Raven eventually got to like save the person who had been nicest to her, or it was a miscongeniality thing. I don't know. Something better than episode 2. We go, actually, Raven's not competing, and also we're getting rid of Nicole Page Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia, because that was a shame. But she kind of listen. Everyone was saying it was bad that Nicole got eliminated, but like she did the worst. She did the worst. NCPFAG. She had no idea who Kylie Minogue was, which is fair, but she just kind of was like, "Charlene, you were great in Neighbours and Doctor Who too." Don't know why she did an Australian accent. So yes, odd vibes on Down Under versus the World, but Art Simone won, so we all win. Big Brother is boring at the moment. They got rid of Jason. Selena Estetes is no longer in the Big Brother house, and everyone's too afraid. There's a power alliance, guys, in the house. There is a 8-person alliance called the Tool Shed, and they're just picking off everyone who is not in the Tool Shed one by one. And everyone recognizes that's what's going on, but no one's doing anything. It feels like the American political system, where you're just watching all the people at the top, all the people in charge of the power, hurting everyone below them, and everyone below them's like, "Oh my gosh, guys, what can we do? Like, we're so helpless." And it's like, fight, fight, do something, fight. Ugh. It's like if you've read the newest Hunger Games book. Sorry, 3 prongs of detachment here I've gone down. But if you read the newest Hunger Games book, and I'm sure this will be a case in the new film, but basically the whole time, because the idea of the new Hunger Games is that there's 50 tributes. There's twice, or 48, I guess. There's twice as many as there usually is. One of the main characters keeps saying to Haymitch, going, "Wow, there's just like so many of you. Like, what would happen if you all just like work together to like topple the people in charge? Wouldn't that be crazy?" And it's like constantly throughout the book, they're like, "Oh my god, guys, we have to fight each other and we have to kill each other." And then this floating ghost comes by and it's like, "Yeah, like you have to, because all of those people who you outnumber, by the way, they're telling you to fight them. So like, I guess you have to fight each other, even though it's interesting that there's more of you than there are of them, and maybe something could be done. I don't know about that." That's what it feels like watching Big Brother. That's what it feels like. You're like, guys, work together. They're not being, unfortunately, they are slightly outnumbered, but they could make something work. And the people who are in the Tool Shed Alliance, who are at the bottom of it, know they're at the bottom of it and are doing nothing about it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, it's Barrett and Drew." They're like, we're gonna be the first chopped once we get to the final 8 here, but we'll get to the final 8. Sorry, is it big 8th place? is it play for 7th? You want to be the next Big Brother superstar in 7th? No! Win! Fight! Rise up! Lots of strong feelings in today's podcast. How are we? Are we doing good? Um, so I'm hoping something happens there and we're able to get the ball rolling to make it a bit more dynamic. Because right now we're just watching the people with no power get picked off. But the thing is, they could easily win. They couldn't easily win, but they could win power too. It just never seems to go their way, unfortunately. So fingers crossed, manifesting a Mallory Melody win. That's who I'm putting my energy into now. That the I like Angela. I like a lot of people who are in the majority, but I will always root for the underdog. I'm always underdogging, because it's just so much more fun, and then it feels better when you win. And when you don't win, you go, yeah, but I was rooting for the underdog. So I'm superior. So Big Brother's a bit rough. Oh, guys, my Netflix has returned to me. Usually, Netflix, me and Netflix, we have this fun little game where it goes, I don't think you're in your house. And I go, oh, Netflix, I am in my house. And it goes, no, 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 I can't see you. And I go, oh, take a look around. This is my house. This is my bear. And they go, okay, you can come in. And then I watch one episode of something, and it goes, no, 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 you're not allowed anymore. You're not your home. You're not your home. I don't know why it does that. It's very mean, but it's quite charged. So sometimes I check in and Netflix has given me access and forgotten that I live here, or remembered that I live here. I don't know. It feels like some kind of maze guardian with amnesia that is constantly fighting me to let me watch my damn shows. But I got in for a little bit and was able to watch Million Dollar Secret, which is the most haberdashery of reality TV shows you'll see. The concept of it is essentially, what if we did The Traitors, but the only thing we did in The Traitors was those murder in plain sight tasks, and that's kind of it. And everyone's trying to figure out who the traitor is based on that. But instead of a traitor, they're a millionaire and they've got the $1 million in their box, and they have a dinner where they have to vote out one person who they think the millionaire is. And if they vote out the millionaire, the $1 million goes into another person's box. And it's about having the $1 million in your box by the end of the show. But sometimes it doesn't benefit you to have the $1 million. It's all just like, from what I've gathered, there is no point in playing the game until the final five. If you have the $1 million, you're gone. Because what you then have to do as the secret millionaire is you are given an agenda to complete. And it'll be something that you have to do with the group. And it'll be something along the lines of like, say these five things in different languages, or it'll be hit tap this person on the head, make this person wear a hat. It's all stuff that, to be honest, you could kind of just do in your house. There's not a level of grandeur to it. It's always very subtle, which makes sense, because if it was like, learn how to hula hoop and throw sparklers in the air at the same time, that would be a bit much. That'd be a bit too obvious. But it's quite dull. It's quite dull when it's like, for your secret challenge, you must make 3 people wear your cowboy hat. Okay, cool, I guess. And if they don't complete it, then it's like they get sent they get 7 votes put against them. It's like, you have to do it or else you're screwed. But also, everyone's competing to win clues to find out about either the task that they've done, or to find out information about the person who is the secret millionaire. And sometimes that clue just gives it away completely. On the first season, there was a guy who, his secret agenda was he had to make 3 people scream, which is like a really hard thing to do, because it's like, obviously the idea would be like, you want to scare people, but you can't guarantee to scare them unless you really freak them out, which I imagine is not great for any kind of mental health check. But it's a lot. It's a lot to do. So he basically was like, why don't we all come together and just release our energy and just like do a big group scream? And they were like, yeah, let's do that. So they got people to scream and they all just screamed. And it was like, woohoo, nice. He's like, I did it, yay. And then the clue was, the secret millionaire's agenda item was inspired by a famous horror film. And it's like, so they spent 2 minutes, they went, okay, so we've got Nightmare on Elm Street, we've got Friday the 13th, was there something about 13s we had to do there? Was it Jaws? They went to Jaws very quickly, and I was like, okay, do you see any sharks? Doll? And they went, Scream? Scream! Oh yeah, that guy made us scream. It's that guy. What can you do? what can you do, brother? And he didn't know that that's what the clue was going to be as well. So it's not like he could have been more strategic to not. And it's screaming, it's loud, it grabs people's attention. Like he was screwed over. And there's been a few things like that where I'm kind of watching it and going, I don't know what you can really do here other than just not play, just like not be involved in any nonsense here. The episode I just watched, The Secret Millionaire. I mean, to be fair, this guy was pretty useless. He had to put 3 clothespins on people. And listen, my gamer brain, the first thing I thought of to do, and I'm sure what the first thing a lot of you guys would think to do, is put the first one on yourself so that if someone else catches it on themselves and you're nearby, you can then go, oh my gosh, they got me too. Who did that? But no, this guy goes for 2 people beside each other. One of them catches him do it and goes, what? Why did you do that? And he goes, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I just did it, man. And then this confessional is like, I don't know why I said that. It's like, yeah, bro, not this tiniest bit of like, you didn't think this could possibly happen. No plan whatsoever. I just gotta put the pins on the people and see what happens. Ah, jeez. So he gets caught, obviously, but someone else has a secret agenda item to stop the millionaire from being voted out. So they do that, and they're like, okay, well, we obviously know it's that guy, but it's more powerful to know that it's that guy, so why don't we not vote for him and vote for someone who's a bigger threat? Everyone does it, and the reward for her completing that is that she now gets to have the money. And then they say, oh, and by the way, someone else had a secret mission and they completed it, so now they get the money. So everyone goes, oh, I assume it's the girl who told us all to not vote for the millionaire that we knew, the person who made a big stink about it. It's just like, if you don't complete the agenda, you are dead. And then you complete the agenda, and it's like, well, you have done something crazy suspicious because no one else is doing anything that wild, you know? Because they know if you do that, then you're gone. So it's all a bit bonkers. Also, everyone is lying about every single aspect of their life because sometimes the clue is like, oh, the millionaire has 2 sisters. So no one is telling anyone anything. It's like, what's your job? Wouldn't you like to know? Like, it just sucks. It sucks. I listened to Brittany Haynes' Big Brother recap podcast, Brittany and Corinne, sorry, and they take the piss out of how on Big Brother everyone thinks that their job is really important, so everyone always lies about it because they're like, oh, they can't. Like, I'm a lawyer, but I don't want them to think I'm smart, so I'm not going to say I'm a lawyer. I'm going to say I'm a nail technician or something, which is still a smart profession, by the way. And so everyone does that, but it's all about so many different things in life, and it'll get so ridiculous. Someone will be like, I'm a I'm a professional Fortnite player, but I don't want them to know that because I can't have them know that I play games because then they'll think I'm really good at puzzles and they'll eliminate me. And it's like, I don't think they care, bro. But Secret Millionaire, what's it called? $1 Million Secret? It's just like that, nonstop, all the time. So it's just all a bit ridiculous, to be honest. So I'm watching that whenever I can, thanks to the fabulous work of bloody Netflix. And we will continue on with our Canada's Drag Race will be finished soon, and Down Under is just kind of started. Murder, She Wrote, we're still working our way through as well. Nothing major to report there. Nothing major to report on Murder, She Wrote. She's just kind of like vibing it out. The season finale of season 1 was quite grim. Like, trigger warning for RAPE, but it's like the episode just ends with like a group of men being like, yeah, we killed that guy because he RAPE'd that girl. It's like, and she goes, well, I guess he kind of deserved it then. That's like, fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Like, obviously it's not. Yeah, that sucks. But what a season finale. But Angela Lansbury's going, I'll keep your secret. Well, she doesn't. She tells him to confess, but she understands why they did it. Oh my gosh, we've already gone over time already. Well, yes, lots to catch up on, but we're going to get into our theatre talk now. And guys, we're going to have a great time because what I want to do is I want to typecast, I want to stunt cast all the pop girlies in what musical I think they will thrive in. So get ready for that. We're going to see you in a second. And we're back in. As I say, guys, theatre has been everywhere this week. I'm a bit obsessed with it. The Fringe just started, so if anyone has any recommendations, I will happily take those. And we also have had. I was gonna say this for the Yaption section, but I simply must talk about it now. The rise of Mariah Poppins. Mariah Poppins, for those who don't know, there's this girl on. Well, I think her dad posted it on Instagram or TikTok of her singing Feed the Birds by Mary Poppins in her school show. And she is riffing the fuck out of it. She is tearing it up. It is so tonally wrong. Like, it is just, Feed the Birds is a lullaby, divas. And she is treating it like it is the closing number of Beyonce's Dubai concert. Like, it is absolutely, let's get it up. Come on, girl. Listen, listen, she's calling me to feed the birds. Oh, she's ad-libbing, Feed the Birds. Julie Andrews, some are going, what the hell? Who said that? Disney. No, Disney, leave her alone, actually. There's people who are the fun police are in the comments here, by the way. They're saying, who let her do this? That's so wrong. Like, that is not the character of Mary Poppins at all. And it's like, you are so correct. Do I give a fuck? No! It's incredible work. It is what everyone who's been in a show that they have not wanted to do has wished that they could have done. It is so camp. And listen, when you're like a kid as well, you are kind of stuck to doing, if you're in a theatre group or your school, obviously, you kind of just have to do whatever the school is doing or whatever the group is doing. And yes, you might get the main part like that, but you might be like, fuck, I want to slay. I really just want to like chew up these hoes, and I'm playing Mary Poppins, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. How can I make that eat? So she saw an opportunity and she took it. Should she have been allowed to? Probably not. But I love it. I think it's very iconic. And to say, listen, when I was in Oliver when I was 13, I was playing Mr. Sowerberry, the Undertaker. I had the shittest song in musical theatre history. That's Your Funeral, where you just talk about how great it is to bury people, and there's nothing to it. What I would have give to add a couple of runs and riffs. That's your funeral. It would have been a camp time. And so, Mariah Poppins, you have our support here. I do want to speak to that director, the musical director, and say I do think it is important for you to maybe maybe teach some lessons in like not being too indulgent, shall we say? And when she's deeply talented, and it's fun. But maybe she could have learned a few things about like the character of it. Apparently, in the rest of the show, she did much more of the Mary Poppins characters, but I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe she was giving Julie Andrews the rest of the time, and then gets to Feed the Birds, and she goes, "Okay, let me slay." So, but mad respect there. That was one of the reasons I thought I want to talk about theatre. But another thing I want to talk about, and apologies if this is a little bit triggering, it's going to be a very quick run through. So if you don't want to talk about the Ariana Grande situation of it all, I'm only going to speak on this for like a minute, and then we're going to come back and do some fun stuff. But Ariana Grande has been pulled out of her Sunday in the Park with George production due to ongoing criticism of her appearance, is what we're being told. And I just want everyone to approach the situation with kindness, is my thought on this. I think it's completely understandable why people have concerns. If for people who don't know, she released a music video recently. Obviously, the huge news cycle of her appearance and how skinny she is has become such a major thing. I personally don't think that in an ideal world, and in the world that I think we should try and promote, we shouldn't ever really be commenting on anyone's body as in relation to health. We have no idea what's going on with people's health, and someone who might look unwell to us is actually even healthier, or what we think is the cause of one person's appearance is actually a completely unrelated, unavoidable situation. And so we've seen this happen so many times. We saw it with Kate Middleton recently as well. I know that was a different situation where she just wasn't there at all, but we need to give people space. And I think I understand why there is so much concern about Ariana Grande, but I think the noise has been made. I think it's been made very clear. I don't really know what else we can do other than just like support and say we've seen this story a lot with other celebrities, and especially in a world where we used to covet skinniness so much. I think it is quite telling that now we're going, no, actually, we are a bit worried here. But also, as I say, there could be a plethora of things going on. So we don't need to hear any more jokes, memes, hot takes, and we also don't need people saying, no, everyone's saying she's fine, so she's fine. Let's let her figure that out with her family and her team and go from there. I think. I don't know. I'm not a mental health or an eating disorder expert at all, but I think there is a little bit of cruelty from both ends here. People saying nothing's going on, I think, is cruel, and people pushing really, really hard on it are also being quite cruel. So approach it with kindness. She is a celebrity. She's in the public eye. So that is something that comes along with it, unfortunately. But she is not deserving of cruelty. And also, like, yeah, it's such a difficult place to be in, and she's had a difficult life. So, that being said, God, heavy talks on Lights Camera Yaption. That being said, the talk of her in Sunday in the Park with George, iconic stunt casting, got me into thinking about all of the fabulous and ridiculous stunt casting we've had in musical theatre productions over time. A highlight, of course, for me is Wendy Williams being Mama Morton, I believe, in Cabaret, in which at one point she stops the song and she goes, "When you're good to mama, how you doing?" Just says her catchphrase. Just like completely breaks character. It's like that is, as I say, Mariah Poppins here. It's like if she was looking up to Wendy Williams, like of course she's gonna just break character and do whatever the fuck she wants. We're stunt casting these people who can't not say their catchphrases for 2 seconds. So I've been looking at all of those stunt castings and decided that we do need the pop girlies in musical theatre. With Ariana Grande pulling out, I've come up with some replacements. And so we're going to stunt cast them in shows that I think they would thrive in. Are we ready for this? Let's get started. So, first of all, it goes without saying, Beyonce and Lady Gaga, they can be in whatever they want. They have their pick because they can do literally anything and everything so long as it's appropriate for Lady Gaga. I would love to see Lady Gaga as Fontaine. I think she would chew it up. I feel like she has probably played that part in some local production when she was younger, no doubt. And I just think she's ready for that role. And I think maybe in the next Broadway revival or something along those lines, another film version, she might be able to do that. So, and then Beyonce, as I say, Beyonce doesn't need it. Beyonce could just walk on stage as herself in every show, and she would fit in and bring down the house. So those two are kind of I'm not going to stunt cast them because they are ready to go for anything. But other ones we have Sabrina Carpenter. Now Sabrina Carpenter was in Mean Girls for 3 days. She was in Mean Girls the musical. I think she was against Cameron Dallas, who could not sing. Just a cursed production all the way around. COVID then happened, knocked her out, and didn't knock her out. Oh my god, knocked out Mean Girls, and then she never went back, which is a shame because I think she belongs on the stage. And to me, she's Al Woods Corp. She's Legally Blonde. I mean, you have to have a certain level of peppiness and stamina and devotion to girlyhood. And I think that is Sabrina Carpenter down. I think she's got the tongue in cheek, but the awareness. I think she has the stamina and the drive for Elwoods. Because Legally Blonde, in case you guys don't know, the musical, that is freaking hard. That is such a hard role to play. You're on stage the whole time, skrelting in your go-go boots. And by go-go boots, go-go juice. That's the name of her song. So Sabrina, we're putting you in with Al Woods. Congratulations. That's going to be a great tour. Now, there is someone who I think would really want to be Al Woods, but unfortunately she's just not, and that is Taylor Swift. Listen, Swifties, don't come for me here, okay? I am one of you, or was one of you. I've not been so much a fan of the recent albums at all. I went to the Eras tour and had the best time ever. I got tons of friendship bracelets, and as soon as I left, I was done. But um, Taylor Swift, she'd be in that audition room. She'd be going for it. She's like Amanda Seyfried going for Galinda. It's like every year she's checking in. And what about me for Elle Woods? And Taylor Swift, unfortunately, I just don't see it for you. I do see you as a Vivian, and that's not to be shady. I just see that I feel like that the Vivian arc is actually something she's been on, maybe in reverse sometimes. But she can be in the show with Sabrina Carpenter, and she comes on and gets that song at the end, and she goes like, actually, I am going to support my girlies. And so Taylor Swift, Vivian, Sabrina Carpenter, Elle Woods, and maybe Taylor can understudy, but I just don't see it for her. I don't think she has the. I just don't think she has the camp. I don't think Taylor Swift is very camp, where I think Sabrina Carpenter is. So that's my thoughts on that, on those two girlies there. They can take that. Next up, of course, Chapel Roan. Now, what's the first thing we think of when it comes to Chapel? Of course, we think draggy, theatrical, red hair. So obviously, we're thinking Annie here. But I imagine this is the conversation that goes down when I pitch Chapel Roan to be an Annie. Hi, Chapel Roan. We'd love to stunt cast you in a musical. She goes, oh my god, I used to fucking love musicals, but I think they're really gay now. She goes, and I go, okay, well, how about you in Annie? And then what she does is she takes out a knife and cuts off my scalp. Is what she does when I suggest that. She doesn't want that at all. But no, I do think she would fuck with Annie Get Your Gun, baby. I used to think that Annie Get Your Gun was the sequel to Annie, and maybe things don't go too well with Warbucks. Annie Get Your Gun. The poor people are uprising. Annie Get Your Gun. No, Annie Oakley. I think it matches the aesthetic, obviously, of that Midwestern princess as well. And I think there are a lot of bangers there. It's very never ending, I will say, Annie Get Your Gun. But I think she'd have a hell of a time with it. And I think the aesthetic of it, a draggy Annie Get Your Gun, I would love to see it. So I think she'd have fun with that. Also, like Calamity Jane, I know I'm kind of saying like butchy women, and I don't think Chapel Roan is butch at all. But I think that's kind of those kind of Western gals. I think she'd have a lot of fun with. And give her a gun. Give Chapel Roan a gun. She deserves it. Next, we have Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish next. And this was a pretty easy one for me. I was kind of like, someone a little bit mopey, someone a little bit down and dour. It's gotta be Lydia and Beetlejuice. And I don't think Beetlejuice is her sense of humor, but I do think the part of Lydia has no sense of humor. And so she'd be able to kind of like play into that. And then she would deliver the best dead mom ever. So, Billie Eilish, if you're going on Beetlejuice, have fun with that for sure. Um, Next up, we have, let's do Charlie XCX. Now, Charlie XCX has famously said that musical theatre is the worst thing ever. And I think she would rather die than ever be in a musical. But I think if we all work together, I really, really think we could get her to play Rizzo in Grease, and I think she would chew it up. I think she would have the best time with it, and she can be snarky and be like, "Ugh, whatever," but I think she'd love it secretly deep down. So I need us all to come together and get her and just like slowly encourage her into getting involved on the Grease train. It sounds like a drag. And maybe it can be Grease set in London and she can do her voice. Charlie, sounds like a drag. Yeah. Yeah. We could maybe make that work. We could maybe make that work there. Oh my gosh. I didn't even mention when it came to Taylor Swift that she was in Cats. Can you believe that? Remember when Taylor Swift was in Cats? I did a whole video where I talked about how disturbing Cats was and how meaty the Cats were. That sounds crazy, but like when you look at the Cats film versus the Cats stage show, the Cats stage show has so much. The costumes have so much texture and color, and like I don't know, everyone looks soft and plush, and when they don't, it's like a clear choice to have them be like a Sphinx cat or something. But then in the film, everything is like a very neutral tone, and everyone's so like flat and smooth. They all just look like sacks of meat dancing around. I don't really know how to describe it, but it really makes me uncomfortable. Taylor Swift was not exempt from the meat bag look there. And listen, she had McCavity, and I thought she actually did very well. Um, it was a terrible film, so no one was coming out of that well, other than Skimbleshanks, of course. But I don't think we would see her do Cats in real life. But you know who is doing it? Tate McRae. Get Tate McRae and Cats. The bend, the snap. She's got the agility for it. She has got the cat-like tread, I feel, and someone needs to be doing Cats. I feel like Tate McRae has got the energy and the vibe for it too. So Tate McRae, you're going to Cats. Broadway's going to be absolutely stacked when these productions go out. By the way, oh my gosh, I've got my list behind the camera, and every time I look at it, I'm like, that's fucking crazy. Why have I written that? Now Olivia Rodrigo, of course, we must speak of, and I do. We must recognize Olivia Rodrigo was in High School Musical, the musical, the series, where she tore up Gabriella. I say tore up. Gabriella, actually, as written, is one of the most boring parts ever. She does nothing in all three, all three High School Musicals. I directed a production of High School Musical 2 when I was in university, and my best friend's Rachel played Gabriella, and she was like, oh my god, there is nothing to work with here. So she just made her the most over the top camp person ever, and I was obsessed with it. So Olivia Rodrigo managed to make Gabriella something, but I think she needs something a little bit grungier, a little bit rockier, maybe, with a lot of rage. Veronica. She's Veronica and Heathers, of course. Of course she's doing that. Again, that's another one you need a lot of stamina for. That is non-stop screaming and hooting, because it is big songs. And so Olivia Rodrigo, that is your vibe as well. And I say she's got the guts, energy, and everything for that. So I really think she would have a good time with it. So that's Olivia Rodrigo. Next up, I have Cat's Eye, and listen, this changed a lot over time, because true Cat's Eye at its peak, which was 3 weeks ago, maybe, or whatever, obviously six Cat's Eye, baby. Like, what? That would be never ending. As someone who is not like the biggest Six fan, that would be a must see event if they were able to get them all together. Or they could do, like, you know how the Haunted Mansion gets like a refurbishment for Christmas and they change the theming of it? Maybe Six on Broadway could do a little bit of a refurbishment and become Cat's Eye themed for one night. And it can be, instead of Divorced Beheaded Died, it can be it could be Hiatus on Break Hybe. Maybe. Obviously, I don't think we're gonna get all of them together again, but maybe if we give them an offer they can't refuse and a Broadway contract, Cat's Eye can come together. The other band I have on this is HAIM. I don't know why. I was going through all the pop girlies in my head and was being like, blah, 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 blah. And after Cat's Eye, I wrote HAIM straight away. And there was a time in my life where I could not tell the difference. Listen, this is going to sound crazy. I could not tell the difference between HAIM, Muna, and Boy Genius. And I know they are completely different sounds, appearances. They're so different. But in my head, they were all the same people. So HAIM, of course, are going to be doing Fun Home. Fun HAIM, they're going to call it. And Allison is going to be played by each of them. They can decide which one they want to be. I don't know quite the difference of them vocally, so whoever wants to do the younger one, they could do younger, older, middle. That's how they can play it. But Funheim is what's going to happen there, and it will do fine. It's a bit niche, but I think they will have fun with it. What else do I have here? Addison Rae, I wrote, has Matilda energy. I don't entirely know if I still agree with that, but I can just see her. I think she's got pluck. It's the vibe I was going for. If you ever watch the Jimmy Awards, which is like the High School Musical Theatre Awards, they will have girls playing Matilda, but they're like 15, 16, and they're like, you are too old for this to be endearing, unfortunately. And that's because Matilda is meant to be played by like an 8-year-old. And Addison is still very endearing, but I think she has the pluck, and that's the kind of energy it would be if she did it. But I think she'd have a great time. I think Addison Ray Matilda is what to go for. Okay, this is even more crazy, but I have indeed written Lana Del Ray Christine in Phantom of the Opera. Um, I was I was kind of thinking like a hypnotic voice in a way, like she's got that kind of like drawl, and I think there could be a really artistic interpretation of Phantom of the Opera to have it set kind of like in a witchy, like almost swampy vibe, and Christina's there, and like I think about her Maleficent song and how, because the idea is that her voice is hypnotic and the Phantom's voice is hypnotic, and I think out of all of the kind of girlies out there right now, I think Lana Del Rey is probably the one with the most hypnotic voice. And so I can't imagine her doing most of the songs or the arias, but I would like to see her try. I think the interpretations could be really, really good. And can she act it? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But that is probably the roguish choice. But a good director can turn this around, guys. So, oh, who's the guy? Who's the guy? You know the guy. Does it with the screens. Need him on it. Lloyd. Lloyd. What's his name? Lloyd. Something like Daniel Lloyd. Floyd Lloyd. What's his name? Jamie Lloyd. Jamie Lloyd. That's it. Jamie Lloyd. Get on this with me. It's Andrew Lloyd Webber as well. Okay, there we go. Back swamp production of Phantom of the Opera, Lana Del Rey, Christine. Tony Award. Here's your Tony Award. You're welcome. um, Next up, we have Adele, and Adele is another one who I think probably is like, I don't really care. I don't really care about musical theatre. Don't know why she's Australian. But I mean, the one that I think she would actually have the best time doing and could flourish with is Death Becomes Her. Either of the girlies in Death Becomes Her, I think she would absolutely devour. Although maybe she's a bit young. I always get in my head Adele is somewhere between 19 and 50. I have no idea how old she is. She just is effervescent no matter what. So I'd like to see her in Murder She Wrote. Murder She Wrote, Death Becomes Her. Death Becomes Her, Murder She Wrote, parody combination musical, jukebox musical, starring Adele and Lana Del Rey as Christine Daae. Put a pin in it. I would like to see her in that, but I think what she would truly devour is Nancy and Oliver. And I know you'll say, oh, it's just because she's Cockney. It's just because she's Cockney. Yeah, she is the Cockney girl, right? Adele, when you say someone who's Cockney, you go Adele. You say someone who's Cockney, you go Adele, and you go Nancy from Oliver. So let them work together. Let them play it. And she would kill it. Her Adele singing Papa. Adele Papa. Come on, guys. Tell me you don't want to see that. I'd pay so much money for that. So I feel strongly about that one there. So I'm going to put a huge. That's another one I'm sending to Jamie Lloyd. I don't care. They're all going to Jamie Lloyd. He can have him. These are all crazy here. Okay. Madonna. I did write MAME. I think that is a good option for Madonna. And I think we could call it Mame Donna. I think we'd have a lot of fun with Mame Donna there. And she would just be so good at it, right? I think she has the camp and the gravitas and the outfits as well. I feel like she would not take kindly to being called Aunt Mame is the issue, but she would love the looks and she would love the visuals of it. And so I think she could really, really play around with that. We have Shakira. We have Shakira as Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors, is what I'm thinking there. And truly, my thought was we need to get Shakira involved, and I don't know where she would fit. And then I was like, she's got a very distinct, unique voice that you don't hear anyone else replicate. And who is that in musical theatre? And of course, I'm thinking Alan Green. I'm thinking Alan Green in Little Shop of Horrors. So Shakira, Little Shop of Horrors, Audrey, and I think she would have the best time. I think it'd be amazing. And I think she would slay in the cheetah print. She'd fit right in. So, Shakira, you're going to the Little Shop of Horrors. Kylie Minogue, we're putting you in Hello Dolly, okay? I like the idea that all the girls are kind of gathered around me here. They're sitting. I've got my clipboard, and I'm like their musical theatre teacher who's telling them what they're performing at the showcase. Kylie, you are doing Hello Dolly, and we're going to call it Hello Dolly. That's kind of it. That's as far as the vision for that one goes. I don't really think it's got anything to do with the character. I don't think it has anything to do with anything really. I think just Hello Dolly has a lot of appeal to it, and I think she kind of has the brightness. You know, there's a brightness that I associate with it. So that's that one there. And then we had Dua Lipa. I kind of thought Dua Lipa's a hard one because I feel like Dua Lipa is quite. Don't hate me, Liponians, or whatever Dua Lipa fans are called, but I feel like she's relatively brandless. I think she just has a lot of club bangers. It's always like you go out and you hear a song, you're like, oh my god, yeah, that's another Dua Lipa song that has been number one for months and months and months. She just has so many songs that are like fun to dance to, and she is herself. There was a long time where I could never tell what she looked like. When she appeared in the Barbie movie, I said, "Who is that?" They went, "It's Dua Lipa," and I was like, I couldn't draw her, but I can't really draw anything anyway. When I think of like a musical that does very well but doesn't have a strong brand identity, I think of The Music Man. I think The Music Man is just like always right. It's The Music Man and Anything Goes. Those two, sorry Sutton Foster, because I know you're in both of them, but they just feel like musicals that exist to be musicals. Anything Goes, oh boy. If anyone I know is ever in an amateur production of Anything Goes, I am so sorry. I'm sure you're having the best time. I want you to know that I'm not, because that damn show never ends, and they're just saying things. They're just saying. This is my impression of Anything Goes. What are you having for dinner, Captain? I'm having beef. Huh, well, I'm having chicken. Aren't we a pair of opposites? You like beef and I like chicken. What the hell is going on? And then it'll be a dialogue scene, and then it'll be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go and play shuffleboard. And what are you gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna go up to my room and read a book. Well, you read a book. I'm gonna play shuffleboard. We're a right unlikely pair, aren't we? You like shuffleboard. You read a book. What the hell is going on? That's what I feel like with with Anything Goes. It's like that for 3 hours. So I have beef with Anything Goes. Sorry, Dua Lipa, you're not going in Anything Goes. You're gonna go in The Music Man because I feel like you are a Maid Marian. Maid Marian? What's her name? Marian the Librarian. That's it. Core. This is carnage. So Dua Lipa is going into The Music Man. Hope she enjoys that. Hope that'll be a good one for her. And who else do I have? That's kind of the most of the ones I've got. I did put down Harry Styles. I know he's not a pop girly, but I feel like he exists in the scene. And for me, we gotta get him in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I feel like that's just his energy. He's always wanting to wear something with lots of colours on it, and he's like, I'm here for a fun time. Oh, Harry, you could have lots of fun with Joseph. And then same with Troye Sivan. But Troye Sivan, I wrote, could doll him up real good and make him play Miss Honey. So him and Addison Rae can be in a production of Matilda together and be dolled up for their life. So I hope that's all good. There's so many other ones I could talk about. But that was my first draft here. We might come back to this in a part 2. But if you have any suggestions for me, tell me, let me know, or any other things we could work on here. Oh my gosh, Zara Larsson. I forgot Zara Larsson, Mamma Mia, Sophie. Not just because she's Swedish, but because you cannot tell me she does not give Sophie Sheridan down. She is absolutely crawling along that beach. She is that girl. So there we go. That's Zara Larsson, because that was an important one. But yes, any other suggestions, I'm willing to take them. Maybe in a couple of weeks' time we can revisit and we can do your suggestions and we can discuss if they're correct. If you hate musical theatre, this episode was probably from hell, so I apologize. But it's okay. We've got one final section of Yaption to talk about here, and I've got a few different things I want to say. So let me know your thoughts on musical theatre, girlies. I'll catch you all in the next section. And Yaption, kind of extending on from our pop girly chat here. I want to talk about something I've been seeing on TikTok. This is the TikTok trending section, for those who don't know. And that is the Laufey best dressed competition. So, oh, we didn't give Laufey a role. Okay, that's your challenge, guys. For next time we do this, someone needs to stunt cast Laufey in a show. I don't know which one it would be. Nothing is coming immediately to my head here, but she's got a very distinct voice, so we should be able to find something gorgeous for her. But something I'm seeing trending is the Laufey Best Dressed competition. For those who don't know, Laufey is an Icelandic jazz singer who has lots of gorgeous songs that you'd recognize straight away. And for her concert, she is doing a best dressed competition. And basically, she encourages everyone to dress up. And then she chooses a winner. And I think she has like a cat mascot called Mei. And Mei helps them come up on stage and she gives them like a little crown or something. And that is it. That is the extent of it. She has said she wanted to do it just because she loved seeing people dress up and wanted to see what they would wear. And it's just a bit of fun. Baby, a bit of fun on TikTok does not exist. We simply must be mean. Because Laufey did the evil crime of giving the win to a child. A child? A child winner? I don't think so. People spent so much money and so much time on their outfits. Was there 50,000 people in the audience and it would be impossible for all of them to be seen? Yes. But how dare Laufey not choose them? Guys, the Laufey competition, everyone is posting like, this is where I'm sitting. they are giving instructions to Laufey and being like, so I'm sitting here, the top row. This is what I've done. This is my outfit. This is how much money I put into it. It spins. It's a carousel because she's got a song called Carousel. But apparently, now they're all fighting each other because someone made a carousel dress first. And so they're kind of like, well, you don't own the carousel dress. Someone else made the carousel dress. And they're like, yeah, well, I spent a lot of hard time making the carousel dress. And Laufey's like, guys, I just wanted you to hang out with me and dress up and not be boring. Why are you all being freaks? Also, it's like such a weird musician to go this crazy over because I feel like Laufey's vibes are so chill. So, like, she has quite a few, like, real emotional songs, but it's not like, I don't know, I would expect this behavior from the Carpenters, as in Sabrina Carpenters, not the Karen Carpenters. And I'd expect them from like a younger fan base. Why are we going crazy? Why are we fighting the children at the Laufey dress up competition? Why do we? Who are we? What have we become as a society? So I think my new thing is anytime someone comments that they're upset that they lost the Laufey dress up competition, just saying you have a bad energy, so you deserve to lose. Because I think she's also vibe checking. I think that cat Mei has a little like vibe detector that it wipes over and says like, no, you're gonna be a real pain about winning this. You don't deserve this. You know, there's a lot of things sometimes where we have all these extra things that celebrities and musicians in particular are doing to integrate the fans into the show. Obviously, at the Eras tour, Taylor Swift was always giving that 22 hat to someone, and I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't as involved in the scene at the time, but I didn't see anyone fighting for it. Obviously, people wanted it, and they were like, "Here's how you can maybe get chosen to get the 22 hat." But it was never like, "Oh my god, of course you gave it to a fucking loser child. I deserve the 22 hat. I've gone through a divorce. I need a 22 hat." That's the level we're at with the Laufey competition. But I guess it's not the 22 competition, and it was like whoever brought in 22 of the best things wins. Whereas Laufey's is a competition, so people do feel like, oh no, I deserved to win this. So maybe that's different. Maybe I'm not being competitive enough. Maybe we should be working together to knock out all the children from the Laufey concert, so only us fine, upstanding adults with our carousel dresses can be the last ones standing. Maybe. Maybe so. Maybe so. But yes, bad vibes going on there. So if you are someone that is fighting people over a competition that's just for fun, reevaluate yourself. You're not here. You're not here doing that. But if you thought about it, I want to make sure that is cut away. So that was a big thing that I saw on TikTok this week, other than Mariah Poppins, which we've already discussed and I'm obsessed with. The other thing I saw, this is going to sound wild, but I saw a club playing Mr. Brightside, and it like opened up the back of my head where I went, I've not heard Mr. Brightside in a club for so long. Oh my god, have I only been going to gay bars and gay clubs for like years? Because they would never play Mr. Brightside there, and I just don't hear it anywhere. And because then as well, there's a certain level with Mr. Brightside where one must simply, if you don't know if you don't know what to do, you must act out the lyrics to Mr. Brightside there. Calling a cab, falling asleep, having a smoke, having a drag. Like you have to act it out. There's only one other song that has those rules, and that is Hot and Cold, Katy Perry. And you can tell a lot about someone by the way that they mime hot and cold. Because it's obvious what you do. Hot, cold. Yes, no. In and out, that's where it gets a little bit dicey to begin with, okay? Yes. I like to go forward and back, but I've seen people hop to the side and the side. No, no, no. In, out, up, down, obviously, up and down. Wrong when it's right. Same as yes and no, but you can spice it up then a little bit. Black and white, that's where things get tricky. That's where there are no rules. There's nothing obvious there. Well, there is something obvious, but you're not doing that for black and white, honey. So what I like to do is point to something black on me and then my white socks, because I'm usually wearing white socks for anyone who cares. And so that is what I do. What do you do for that song, guys? I would take Hot and Cold any day over the cruel Macarena and Cha Cha Slide. I don't like being told what to do. I have a control issue. I do not like being told what to do. And the Macarena and the Cha Cha Slide, they piss me off every time they come in because I'm locked into what you, Mr. Cha Cha Real Smooth, tells me to do. And it's like, you could technically dance to the Macarena and not do the Macarena, but what's the point? What is the, like, that is, you're fighting God at that point here. It's God's order that you Macarena when the Macarena happens. And there is kind of nothing else to do with that beat, because it is, when you listen to it by itself, so stanky. So I would always take Hot and Cold over either of those two ones, because at least you can have a little bit of fun with it. Someone called the doctor got a case of love bipolar. We can't say that anymore. But someone called the doctor is very fun. Anyway, guys. Whoa, this was a fast one. This was a ramble and a half here. Thank you for bearing with all that insanity. As always, guys, everyone hanging out, I really appreciate all the interaction in the chat. People have been so lovely talking to me. I have had people say they'd love to be on to yap about stuff. I'm going to figure out how best to do that, because I think it'd be great to hear other people's points of views and not just have me going crazy. But thank you all so much. I hope you're having a fantastic Samp. I didn't even say Samp today this week. Hope you're having a fantastic Samp today, or whenever you listen to this. And I will catch you all next Saturday. Goodbye, guys. See you around. Bye bye.